Ki khubor ka bate si TV. Rakhe ka Frank Yamaha khatn reus nem ya ka jing shakri ka jongka. Baden ais ngo bha sha baro kinong thi thuk thuk. Ringkat ka kabuk ser ban long kinong job ya santali ki laptop. Kani ka offer kan kot ha ka live hoteri unai lur 8,000 pusau.
Tang hau news nem arajar posau kata nadu benai kelalingkan hadu benai nailar hagani ke jela Meghalaya lasyam bagidan palat arspa ka sangon ki kena ki yoyo Ñiangpyrsit. Yakni lepentip de state immunization officer ke Dr. Badira Maulong haka jingkran bekilar patai kubor haka pun rotrik unai lor arajar posau bat ongru bakani gelaja tang namar babu nakipat ba ki kentai benai dawai Tika yalaki jongi kon kiti. Ka Dr. Maulong kaya turu badan giba kentat ya ke Injek Tika na kada ka jinget biet baga jing syong syet ngam. Haba benrap halokani u Director Jangka National Health Mission Uram Kumar ulong bakandai person na gadong syong syong kila pediang ban ai Injek Tika ya ki Khun kataman lait na ka jingmi jong Ñiangpyrsit ubamangi ki jai bendu kasi nginget bude unyang blay.
Recently we have again tested the 2 samples of the affected child. And also we have taken the samples from the close contact and from some villages of that community also. And all the test samples were sent to Institute of Serology, Calcutta, and all they were found to be negative of polio.
No community instances of any polio case in that particular village. However, it is very, very important that the village to understand that the village had a little, lower full immunization coverage. We need to ensure that this full immunization continues across all the communities. Only as a community, so if you have 15 people are here, at least 13 people have to take vaccines to achieve something called herd immunity. That immunity seems to be might have been an issue there. And so that's why we just today also we had a state level task force on immunization. Explaining to all from the level of principal secretary to all the districts, TCs, all of them had joined to tell this about immunization of every single village. Few villages are having issues in terms of immunization, very highly in East Kasi, West Kasi, it's a lot much more here. But we're saying every village and every community is important because of this, achieving this herd immunity as a very important criteria so that these cases don't happen. We are already close. We are already close as close to 90% immunization. We already achieved it. But as I said, we have to go to certain communities, few blocks where there are 70%, 75%, 78%. We have those blocks are there. But as a state, we have reached almost 90%. But there are still the 90 to 95. Even every child has a bit deserving for a good life, and these vaccines, are a very, very important thing to have that kind of immunity towards various these kind of preventable diseases.
Actually, India is polio free since 2014. The last case was 2011, and it was declared by WHO polio free in 2014. Vaccine derived are extremely rare and detected only in those children with low immunity, and sometimes with those low coverage immunization of that locality, and sometimes even with the population with low level of immunization.
And there is a national level expert committee which takes all the matters into place, and then they decide the further course of action. That has still not been done. I think that they have still yet to sit in the committee at national level, and they take this thing, because these things go beyond national boundaries also. Since we are also very close to other countries, so it goes beyond national boundaries. So there is a national level committee which will take cognizance.
There are 2 types of vaccine derived that very rare, but wild polio virus that there was before that wild polio virus, but it was eradicated except only in Pakistan and Afghanistan, that there were cases in the year 2023 in the month of October and November 2023. So like for us also here in India, we are very concerned, like in this AFP surveillance, because we are near with Bangladesh, we are border, like because those people from Pakistan or Afghanistan or from Bangladesh, they may come to India, we may get contracted again with wild polio virus also. So AFP surveillance, we have to strengthen it. Because there are some people who refuse, without any reason. the because as I've told you, I've been in the periphery for 15 years. Sometimes we had gone to their house 10 times, 15 times every year, every polio immunization, every time, but they'll just say that we just don't want to take without no reason. Sometimes they are scared of this because whenever we are giving vaccination, sometimes they are getting fever, so they are scared of that getting fever also. And sometimes when the child is sick due to fever after vaccination, then they will miss their daily labor work. So there are some cases that those new religious movement also, that those who refuse medication, refuse vaccination.
Yeah.
So
we are also trying to do 2-3 other things along with what Madam had added, saying that in some areas where there is this hesitancy issues are there, we are requesting even our ANM or MLHP to stay there in the village, because fever is the main one of the things they keep saying, that child is getting fever after the immunization. It is very normal. We tell them to stay there if possible in the village, so that in any cases they can attend in the night time immediately. Generally it is okay without even treatment, but even a mild paracetamol or something should be quite sufficient. Even during VHNDs also paracetamols are given right after the vaccination, just in case fever comes up. So those things also has actually reduced this problem of people not accepting. Most of them have accepted. As I said, 90% have accepted. It is still that 4-5%. Measles rubella also, again, we have improved our surveillance activity in the last 1.5 years. So that's why this year also the number of case reporting also has almost tripled up from 80 plus in the last year to 214 cases so far now, and some deaths also have happened. But through all of the media and with our madam's presence, as well as when madam is addressing other things, the only thing we want to convey through that is that to ensure that there is no break in the vaccination. There is 2 doses for MR vaccination, 1 and number 2. But sometimes they take 1 and they don't take the second one, and that becomes a gap. So both the doses take, and it is almost, the efficacy is very good, about 85-90% chances that they will not get measles rubella after the vaccination. So through you, we just want to convey that message of having continuous this thing, and rashes or fever and etc. should be reported immediately, as well as to be treated immediately.
Measles cases also, we have now from January to August 2024 around 240, and we have around 11 outbreaks. So this is really a concern for our state, because there are many refusal for measles vaccination also, and sometimes they are giving only the first dose, they miss the second dose. And especially in our community, that sometimes we believe as Ñiangpyrsit, we are scared because during the time when they are getting measles, because it is a virus, this at the same time the immunity of the child will be low. So in that particular time, these bacteria will take the opportunities to attack again the child. So mostly the child, the children, they used to die due to pneumonia or due to diarrhea or due to fever. And especially according to our Khasi belief, that we should not disturb the child. So we really face a problem, because when we have this fever with rashes, surveillance also, when we get those type of children with fever and rashes, so we need to collect the sample, blood sample. But again, these parents, they used to deny because they said not to disturb the child. So this is also really a concern, because as I've been working also in the periphery for many years, I had come across many cases of measles, who died due to pneumonia, who died due to diarrhea, and sometimes they had this complication with the eye also, because this vitamin A deficiency also it will create. So many cases of blindness also I had come across during my periphery posting. So I really want to request all of you, please help us in this awareness also regarding the measles. Okay, we know that it is called Ñiangpyrsit, but even then, if they get vaccination, the they won't get that measles anymore, or if they get also, they'll get the mild one, which will not kill the child. And also during even if the child is sick with that fever with rash, also if they can give the sample, we can test, we can know whether it's a measles or not. And if it is a measles also, at least they can accept medication, they can accept any line of treatment that we are giving, because this area also we are really facing problem, especially in the periphery.
There's a national committee which will be final classification whether it is CVDPV, IVDPV, ambiguous ABDV will be done by a polio expert committee at national level. So as Madam said, that there is both case of vaccine delayed as well as this wild polio, different wild polio is also there. In that situation, because when it happens, it is either the child is immunocompromised or the community has a low immunity towards this matter. Now the child immunity report has come. It does not say the child had any serious immunity issues. So then it makes that the expert committee only will go through all the reports, takes all the samples what we have sent to IOS, etc. Then they will come up with a detailed classification of where to point out this case. So as of now, all the reports are there with the WHO team is here. They have presence across the country and they have presence across the world also. They are national level also. The matters has gone to them. That is a protocol of what exact polio will. It will take some time to arrive.
So because as it is Jengrip village of that Tikikila block, there is a very low immunization coverage, and the child also didn't receive any routine immunization doses, except only 2 doses in the IPPI, intensified pulse polio immunization. So only 2 doses.
It's not all over the state. It's in a few pockets, but very interestingly in few parts of few districts. It's not like contiguous. It's not like bordering area of East Kasi and West Kasi. Somewhere in Bitam, West Kasi, somewhere in East Kasi, somewhere in East Jaintia. Or so not much in East Jaintia, West Jaintia. And some in South West Garo Hills, here and there, few place pockets only. It is not contiguous.
How are you addressing?
So that's a constant. If you remember, Meghalaya's vaccination used to be at 56-57%. So a lot of effort was done to reach out to communities, make effort to ensure that the immunization days are increased, number of days are increased. So that's how we touched more than 90%. Even in terms of COVID, we reached one of the second state in terms of overall full immunization coverage also. So that has already been done. But there are still some pockets. That's why every village is important. Every child deserving is very important.